Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to 2020. So on today's video, I'm going to talk about a new camera that I picked up, and I thought it'd be fun to do a little vlog talking about why I picked up this camera and some things I like about it. So let's get to it. So this is the camera that I picked up. It's a Canon EOS RP. There's a lot of reasons that I picked up that camera, but one of the main reasons it's 5:13. I'm not really sure what that bell's all about. One of the main reasons I picked up this camera is because I just got back from Texas. I was on a trip there to visit family, and while I was down there I did a couple photo shoots, and I really started to notice the limits of my Canon 60D, which was my previous A camera. We were doing a photo shoot of my cousin's dogs for one of my clients, and it was just like, it was really hard to get the dogs in focus. They were constantly moving, constantly running around, so I figured I want something with faster autofocus. And then I was doing portraits after that, and it's just, I wanted something that was full frame as well. So that's why I settled on the Canon EOS RP. So doing portraits, I realized I wanted something with full frame. Focus, there we go, I think it's got me. Hey, hello. That's why I settled on the Canon EOS RP. Now, one thing I didn't account for was that most of my lenses are actually EFS lenses, so I'm gonna have to get some more glass. Yeah, look forward to reviews on things like that. So yeah, settled with the Canon EOS RP. Now I think there are good times and bad times to buy new gear, and a lot of times people just buy it because it's what they want. I mean, I've been guilty of that in the past. It can become kind of just a hobby collecting. But I think the right time to buy new gear is when you really pushed yourself to the limits of the gear that you currently have. And I was really feeling that with my Canon 60D and my T5i. Yeah, I was really feeling the need for something with a little bit more firepower. Another reason I picked up the Canon EOS RP is because I plan on eventually upgrading to the Canon EOS R, and I wanted to have this as a B camera at that time. And still be able to use all the glass if I end up getting any RF glass on that. So yeah, those are my reasons. I'd love to know what you think. If you have a Canon EOS RP or maybe the R, let me know what you think of them and what you think of the new mirrorless system. I think there are a lot of advantages to going mirrorless, and I'm really excited to get to it and to learn some new stuff and you know, test out what I learned here on YouTube. Alright guys, that's it for today's vlog. I gotta head to my church to help them out with some of the stuff going on there. I do a lot of AV work there and anything that involves sound and anything like that. Hey, check 1 2 1 2. Hey, 1 2 2 3 4 1 2. Hey, check. Oh wow. So something I just learned about this camera, you can actually adjust the audio levels while it's recording. I didn't even realize it was recording. I accidentally bumped that while I was trying to adjust the audio levels, so that's pretty cool. So after I got back home from downtown, ended up not going to church because my wife locked herself out of the house, and it's a whole long story. But anyway, back home now. I figured out a new way that I could set this camera up to vlog, and I actually really like it. So I was worried that my lens wasn't quite wide enough. I was on the 18-35 Sigma f1.8, which is a really nice lens, but the camera automatically recognizes that as an APS-C lens, which means it's going to go ahead and crop in automatically. And that was something that I didn't really want, because I wanted to have a wider field of view, obviously, and then once it does that crop in, it automatically switches to 4K or 720 and won't let you record in 1080, so you lose dual pixel autofocus, at least on the RP. I think on the R you can choose whether or not to crop, but I haven't been able to find that setting here, so that's something to note about the RP versus the R. Yeah, I wasn't able to find that setting, but I did realize that if I put my 10-20 Sigma on here, it doesn't recognize it as an APS-C lens. Not really sure why that is or why not, but because it doesn't, I can actually use it on here with the wide field of view. Now normally you would get this kind of issue here, let me show you. Now normally because of that, you're going to get this kind of fisheye look. See those vignettes there around the side, the borders, because this lens is not made for a full frame camera. But I discovered that by setting the image stabilization to the full max limit, it actually crops that image in enough, even at 1080, that you still get most of the sensor, but you lose all of this. So that's what I've been doing this whole time here. And then you get your dual pixel autofocus as well as some internal stabilization. So that's actually a really nice feature. It's not quite as wide as if you're using a full frame lens, but it still looks really nice if I say so myself. Alright, there we are back to that stabilized image. Gives a nice stabilization. You do see, if I kind of move the camera really fast every once in a while when it's digitally stabilizing, it's going to move to one of those corners and you'll see a little bit of vignetting coming in. Not really sure it's a big deal for the vlog. I'll show a test clip here that I shot, seeing if you can kind of see where it pops into the corners, so just watch out for that. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I really like this setup. Eventually I do hope to get like either a 17-40, preferably the 16-35, maybe even the 15-35, I'm not sure. But yeah, I really like this setup so far. I will say the battery life is not nearly as good as what it probably would be on the EOS R and what it is on my 60D with the LPE6 batteries. Those are much better, much stronger batteries. I've gotten down to about half the battery. Granted, I have been using the camera all day. I shot a few photos, a few sample shots to try it out. Shot probably maybe 10 minutes worth of video or so. So just got to halfway. That's not really a problem. I've got a couple more batteries coming, and the camera is lighter, smaller, so that's something to keep in mind too. You sometimes want a smaller form factor, and it's worth sacrificing a little bit of battery life. Plus the batteries are like that big, pretty easy to carry a couple around in your pocket, so not really a huge deal there. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video, if you want to see more vlogs like this, or if you want to know more about this camera, or if you have specific questions about it. I know there were a lot of questions I had that it was a little tough finding answers for, just because it's such a new camera. So let me know if you have those questions in the comments below. If you like content like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Love to have you here on the channel, and we'll see you next week.